The Oilers continue to reshape their roster, adding more firepower up front. And what does the future hold for Leon Draisaitl and Evander Kane? Hey everyone, Rob Wong, joined alongside by Gerry Moddejonge of the Edmonton Journal. And Gerry, the last time we spoke, the Oilers had just finished a couple of goals and one win shy of winning the Stanley Cup. And since then, they've added some significant pieces to their roster, signing wingers Jeff Skinner and Viktor Arvidsson in free agency. When you look at this team as it stands right now, do you think it's better than the one we just saw go to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, Rob, two great additions you mentioned there, obviously. What I was most impressed with, and this probably has a lot to do with what you were just talking about in the intro, getting oh so close to hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup. A lot of free agents that were up this year have come back now, including that entire third line that was just lightning in a bottle. Talk about instant chemistry when they started getting these guys together. Adam Henrique and Matthias Janmark. Connor Brown, of all people who, everybody was just waiting to have a breakout, coming off this terrible knee injury and surgery, and it took forever. Yeah, we saw sparks here and there of what he could do. But boy, did he find a place not only with those other guys, but, also on this extremely successful penalty kill. All those guys were up for free agency, and all of them came back, including Henrique, who, by all reports, he left money on the table with offers from other teams to, want to stay, want to finish the job. And that's almost what it felt like looking at free agency and what happened. It was, an unfinished job, and everybody, really wanted to remain part of it. Now, that being said, Warren Foegele is gone. Obviously, that was a big piece to lose. Also, Vinny Desharnais on the defensive side. He was a bit of a fan favorite, just a big galoot sort of guy, and that people watch around here developed for a long, long time. And good for him for landing in Vancouver. But bringing in Jeff Skinner, Viktor Arvidsson, these are two natural goal scorers who will really complement Leon Draisaitl. Now, I say his name with an asterisk because, of course, we have to get to him. But on that second line, here's all of a sudden, you're not getting wingers bumped up and down from the third line and to the second line, and he never just really had that established wingman on the side of him. So I think we're going to get a chance to see just what Leon Draisaitl can do as the next best thing on this roster. Obviously, Connor McDavid is who he is, and that first line is pretty set in stone. Hyman scoring 50 goals for the first time in his career. He's not going anywhere. The chemistry he has with McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as well. Another great year for him, although it was a step backwards from just astronomical numbers from a year before. So if anything changes on the first line, it might be him. But looking at Skinner and Arvidsson, where they slot in right now, is both on that second line. And talk about coming in late with Skinner. Everybody thought it was a great free agency day for the Oilers, especially for a team with no quote-unquote general manager at that point. But obviously they had a plan in place. But to bring Skinner in late, huge addition, and to hang on to all the free agents that they did of their own, just a big win-win for that team.
Yeah, it really was an impressive day for Jeff Jackson and company. And as you said, with Skinner and Arvidsson, a couple of legitimate top six wingers for this Oilers team now, potentially to play alongside Leon Draisaitl, who is going into the final year of his contract. And meanwhile, you've got a guy in Evander Kane, who we didn't even really touch on. He might be the odd man out. What do you think the immediate future holds for Evander Kane? And when it comes to Leon Draisaitl, is there a potential extension that you think he could be signing at some point this summer, or does he play out the year?
Well, Draisaitl, thankfully, he has an extra year on. They did have it all come crashing down at once, and then with all the other free agents as well. McDavid's got 2 more under his belt, so they don't have to worry about that other big piece till next year if they want to get an extension in ahead of time. But Draisaitl, priority numero uno for this club. Yes, you want to bring him back. I can't see him playing anywhere else, but money talks. He goes any other team, he's likely the number 1 C on that lineup. But hopefully the path has been paved now, and we've kind of saw what happens. And he's another guy who wants to stick around longer term, and just see if they can get the job done here. So that is what I expect to see happen. Now, obviously, he's Probably to stick around, not going to take full market value as well. You could pay him and McDavid all the money in the world, and then wouldn't be able to surround them with anybody. So they understand that they might not be get as much for sticking together in Edmonton or playing together as they would going elsewhere. But it'd be really really tough to see them break up the band and see those two guys not in the same uniforms as well. But boy, lastly, and the entire wild card on this list of who's who, as you brought up, Evander Kane. Where does he slot in? If you're not going to break up that third line and the second line, you're going to give more firepower to Leon Draisaitl. And Evander Kane is not the kind of guy who can keep up with a McDavid and a Hyman up on the first line. What's left? Is Evander Kane? Are you going to pay him money to play on the fourth line? Is he the kind of guy who can, take one for the team and say, yeah, whatever you need me to do, whatever role you need, I'm happy to do it. Now, that being said, if he doesn't, and apparently he's got a no trade clause that would have to waive. I mean, he's far from the only person in the league to have that. But if he wants to go play elsewhere, that's certainly an option for him. Otherwise, where's he going to go? The other question for the Oilers is, how do you replace a guy who scores 20-plus goals and leads the entire team by far with 250 hits on the season? And now that apparently was playing hurt all year as well with the sports hernia that he mentioned on the eve of opening round of playoffs against the LA Kings, which explains a lot as well. Of course, that caught up to him later on in the playoffs when he was no longer able to make it in the lineup because of that injury, I assume. But that's a big piece, physicality-wise, and an ability to put up. What did he have? 44 points this season as well. So you can't just replace a guy like that. But it might be a blessing in disguise given all the other pieces the Oilers have at their disposal right now.
Well, still some moves potentially to be made for the roster of this Oilers team. And as you mentioned, still waiting to find out who's going to be the GM of this team as well, as that continues to happen this summer. As always, you can leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Gerry Moddejonge, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.